It's Saturday in Athens, and it is an
Mm.
exciting time to root on them Bulldogs in every single capacity you can have. We're going to be talking about what we're excited, nervous, and not to sleep on for Saturday for them Georgia Bulldogs next. Locked on Bulldogs.
You are Locked on Bulldogs, your daily podcast on the Georgia Bulldogs. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Locked on Bulldogs podcast. He is Clint. I am Daniel. Thanks for being a first listener, for making us your first listen of the day, for being an everydayer, for being here each and every day. Thank you also to FanDuel. Make every moment more. This episode brought to you by FanDuel, FanDuel.com. We will be talking more about them in a moment. As Clint mentioned, on Saturday, it's a big day for the Georgia Bulldogs. There's a lot to be excited about on Saturday. There's a lot to be nervous about. There's a lot maybe you shouldn't sleep on. And normally we say that don't sleep on until the third segment, and we are going to do that today. But don't sleep on there being more than one Georgia team playing on Saturday, Clint, that you need to be excited about, nervous about, and that you shouldn't be sleeping on. So today, as we talk about what to be excited, nervous, and don't sleep on for the Georgia UMass game, which is happening on Saturday, we're also going to be talking about what to be excited about, nervous about, and what not to sleep on for the Georgia Marquette game in the Bahamas. Mike White and the men's basketball team coming off, I believe, 5-0 now on the young season. A win on the road at Georgia Tech, and taking on a Marquette squad that this just in, Clint, looks really freaking good. Like this
15th
will
ranked team in the nation that looks very
just
good.
blew out Purdue, who is ranked 6th. So they're moving up in those rankings. Georgia's got an absolute monster of an opportunity for a big piece on the resume. So let's start between the hedges, Clint. What are we excited about? And I'll go first. We mentioned the plethora of talent that's going to be on display in this game. We mentioned
a lot of it,
the rotation of guys. And I think I think for both of us, I'm going to speculate. It's the young linebackers. I've been saying this since I went to the game, since I was in the, and I mentioned what Chris Cole and Justin Williams do on special teams together. It is, these guys are in separate, they're standing next to each other on the sidelines at all times. I know Chris Cole's been getting a lot more run, but in this game, I believe we will see Justin Williams and Chris Cole line up next to each other at inside backer for the Georgia Bulldogs. And I'm just going to tell you, that will be like Christmas morning for me. That will be a 100%. I will rise to my feet and I will watch that play from a standing position, because these two young linebackers are among my favorite guys on this roster. I cannot wait to watch them play together. Raylan and CJ have got a whole nother year in the program. And so, but these two guys are coming right along. We're going to see them contribute in significant ways, but certainly on Saturday, they're going to get a lot of run. So I'm excited about that.
The first time Justin Williams goes rover status, climbs over the top of the blocks that are being eaten up by the defensive line in front of him, moves his hips and starts sprinting downhill towards ball carrier. I will be grabbing people around me by the shoulders in anticipation of what will be coming, because it's the pain. Daniel, he gonna be coming, and when he come, the pain be coming with him. Okay,
no, he'll be bringing it.
Wait, oh my gosh, it's gonna be so great. I can't wait on the offensive side as well to see Tuggle continue to get run, because Tuggle, just so we know, is not going to step out when the ones catch their breath. Tuggle is going to see a full game under his belt. He's not going to step out there. He's the guy that's ascending right now, but he needs more run. He needs more time in that. The second thing I'm excited about, Daniel, and this truly is exciting for me to see, because there's been wild speculation about this, just wild. if we were to get $50 each and make a bet on who the second quarterback is to come in for Georgia, I think we had a very solid idea who that was. A very solid idea who that was beginning of the season. A lot of reports and a lot of people talking, saying that when there's people warming up on the sideline, it's Rashada. Now, what is that? It's just a warm up. It's just playing catch on the sideline. But I'm just here to let you know. Again, I was victim of this on Saturday when we started calling for Carson Beck's head. Okay.
Yep.
Carson, I'm an idiot. Kirby, I'm an idiot. And
we just get so scared.
I get so scared sometimes.
We just get so
thank
scared.
Goodness, you are calling the shots, King Kirby, and not me, because our team would suck. Okay. We want whoever is second because Kirby wants them. But I'm thrilled because it means that Gunnar has held off a resurgent Rashada, or Rashada has overtaken Gunnar. Either way, I'm excited for who comes in to play the game. That's what I'm trying to get at. It's great news either way, y'all. Like, be thrilled about that. That's the other thing I'm excited about, Daniel.
I'm excited in the Bahamas on Saturday morning.
Come on.
Because I'm not sure if you're aware of this, Clint, but a young man by the name of Asa Newell, he is built for the big stage. You understand?
When, the hyenas in Lion King?
Yeah.
Say it again.
Mufasa.
Say it
again. This kid is got that Anthony Edwards in him. Do you remember in the Maui Invitational when Anthony Edwards, albeit in a losing effort, put this team on his back in the second half and scored like 30 points against Michigan State in Maui? I'm not saying that Asa Newell is going to have that kind of game in the Bahamas, but I am telling you that the moment will not be too big for him. The 3 ball is starting to fall.
It is.
And he is just nails around the basket, Clint. Asa Newell and Santos Cyril are the 2 most exciting big people to play Georgia basketball in 100 years.
Yep.
And debate a brick wall. I do not care. Georgia has 2 freshmen right now on in the front court that are as exciting as anyone I can remember as a center or a 5-man in for the Georgia basketball team. I am excited to see this team on a big stage. In the big picture, I'm excited, Clint, because this is an opportunity. You don't have to win this game.
No.
But this is a guaranteed quad 1 win if you get it. If you get it, this goes on your resume and no one can take it away. And at the end of the year, when they're tallying up those quad 1 wins, and that is the most important stat in all of college basketball for the selection committee. We know,
here's just
by the way,
if you don't know what a quad 1 win is, here's what it is. The upper crust teams in college basketball.
Yep.
Those teams, the tier 1, you beat them. And
top 25 team at home, a top 50 team on the road, a top 75 team, a top 50 team on a neutral site, a top 75 team on the road. That is a quad 1 win in college basketball. This is a neutral site game. Marquette's going to be, ranked in the top 20 in the RPI all year. And so this is an easy quad 1 win for Georgia if they were to get it.
Marquette's a good squad, but I'm excited to see this offense continue to go. Asa Newell's there, but this offense, like you said, the 3's starting to go. We got the big men around the rim, the protectors, the rebounders. Yep. Demery's doing his thing. Demery is a nice 3rd option. Just let that wash over you. I'm not saying he has to be the 3rd option, like in most games. He could be the 1 option. But what I'm saying is it's nice to have him as our 3rd best option getting buckets because we have so many other dudes. We got Dakota, we got Blue, we got Asa. It's incredible. I'm excited to see this offense. We're going to come back after this, talk about what to be nervous about for Georgia on Saturday. But first, these. And these are Prize Picks. Prize Picks are fantastic. It's the best place to get real money on sports action. 10 million members, billions of dollars in award-winning prizes. Prize Picks have made daily fantasy accessible. More or less is all you have to choose on 2 players and get 100 times your cash. We love Prize Picks. You should too. We love them. We've been there before. We've just simply gone up, chosen a player, said, hey, I really like him to have a good game. He's going to get more than the projected total. Sure enough, when he does, boom, we win. It's literally that simple. I'm not making that up whatsoever. Prize Picks puts their members first. All withdrawals are fast, secure, and safe. When my picks hit, I get my money in as quick as 15 minutes. And they now offer Venmo for quick and easy deposits, withdrawals into your account this sports season. They also offer weekly promotions that can lead to big payouts. Taco Tuesday, each Tuesday, Prize Pick discounts select player projections up to 25% to provide more value on your lineups. Download the app today. Use promo code LOCKEDONCollege. You get $50 off instantly. Your play with your first $5 lineup. Download the app today and use promo code LOCKEDONCollege. Get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. Run your game.
Clint, we talked about what we're excited about on Saturday. What are we nervous about on Saturday? The answer is injuries, but what else?
Here's what I'm nervous about. I am nervous that the injury bug, it won't be enough. Not that new injuries will happen. I'm nervous that the Dylan Bells of the world, the Tate Ratledge of the world. Dylan's going to sit this game. He's not going to play. Don't look at him at all. He might not even play Georgia Tech game. We're going to see about that right now. Georgia Tech line is, I think, at 19.5, something like that, for the Georgia G Tech game a couple weeks, Friday after Thanksgiving. I'm nervous for re-injuring not new injuries, not just lingering things, because this point of the season, everybody's banged up, everybody's hurt, everybody's hobbling around. You're just doing your best thing. And what I'm nervous about is just a small little tweak in somebody, not a bang new injury. That can happen, but small little subtle tweaks and wear and tear that then can say a high ankle sprain can feel great and glorious. And one small misstep, all of a sudden you're back 6 weeks ago, and it's gut wrenching. So I do want to add a caveat to that. It's not just new injuries. It's agitating some lingering things. Here's what else I am nervous about. I am nervous that the synergy we've gotten could potentially go down if early in the game we're not dominating and pouring gas on early. The synergy we got after Ole Miss, where we looked completely disjointed and completely up. I'm not nervous for the whole game itself. We're going to win this one handily, is my prediction, and I think it'll be fine. I think leading into Georgia Tech is going to be fine. But I think there's enough layoff. Right, Daniel? We've seen this in lots of other sporting events where you get these are 2 games. I don't think we're making the SEC championship game. That's 3 games, 3 weeks in a row where we're not playing meaningful football. Then we have to wait till the 21st. Oh, go ahead.
I said, sorry, Georgia Tech, not meaningful football.
I apologize to no one. The December 21st or 22nd, we are a month away from those 2 dates.
Yeah.
We need to get meaningful snaps and good connection for 2 weeks before we hit that lull. And I'm nervous we won't get that. I hope I'm wrong on that.
It's sloppiness. Sloppiness is the thing I think that we're nervous about, just to boil it all down into one word. Yeah, that could come up over long periods of time. It could come up just on single drives. I mean, I think you're just nervous that the team's going to come out and look sloppy and not be crisp offensively. Looking at the Bahamas, I mean, I think it's pretty obvious what to be nervous about. Georgia can lose this game and be fine. Like, there's no reason Georgia can absolutely. Georgia won't be favored in this game. They don't need to win this game to make the NCAA tournament. No. It's not like you need to win some of these games to make the NCAA tournament. The good news is Georgia's going to get a lot of these games. Have you checked the rankings lately? The SEC is loaded with ranked teams.
I mean, how about the week after, Daniel? I mean, the game after on Sunday. St. John's is
we played
there.
2 ranked teams in a row in the Bahamas, and so we don't have to have this game. But I think you look at these two games against Marquette and St. John's, and there is a way that you come away from these games 0-2 thinking, oh man, Georgia really could have had one of those. Georgia really let one of those slip. Let me just say this. I'll be fine with that. What I'm nervous about is that you come away from this saying, hey, you remember how Indiana football was 10-0 and then they went to play Ohio State? Do you remember how they were 10-0?
Off.
And then we realized they don't really belong on the big stage. They're not really ready to eat at the big boy table, are they? This is objectively the big boy table. And let's just be totally honest. Georgia has had no business being anywhere near this table for quite some time.
No.
There is a lot of optimism that this year's Georgia team is not going to, be a top 5 team in America or make the Final Four. But there's a lot of optimism that Georgia at least is going to be able to compete in games like this, maybe get a win over a ranked team here on a neutral site in one of these two games. I'm nervous that Georgia's going to get exposed and the youth on this team is going to rear its ugly head, and it's going the team just isn't going to be ready for the moment. I'm optimistic because of the veterans that we have on this team, the RJ Godfreys that we have on this team. Obviously, Silas Demery, been through an entire SEC season, Blue Cane same way. And so there are some veterans on this team that I think have been in big games before. But we're going to learn a lot. And sometimes, I'm nervous that what we're going to learn is not going to be favorable, but you got to go and learn it.
Here's what I think what's really wild to me about this team. Early on in the season, we saw this, and its season is still early, but the first couple games, I didn't see the Mike White defense happening like I thought I would, Daniel. Now, that was concerning to me because that's what I banked on last year, that we were waiting for the skill and the offensive bucket getters, right? That's what we kept saying. We could play defense, we could play scrappy. We can get guys who can get there. That's why Demery was so good for us last year and so crucial. At times, he was the only one who was getting any sort of bucket whatsoever. The defense hasn't been to that level, Daniel. And I need it to be. Like I need them to get back to the Mike White level of playing defense, especially against Marquette, against the top teams. Can you go ahead and can you stop somebody? Can you get a stop when you need to down the floor? Can you go on a run when you're maybe down by 10? Can you go on an 8-0 run? We're going to force Marquette to call a timeout and then all of a sudden really get it done. I'm nervous that we won't see that. And if that's the case, I will agree. Like, oh man, we let one slip away. But I'm going to say like, what did we abandon? Did we trade one identity for another? And now we're just going to get in shootouts with people. I hope that's not the case. We're going to come back after this, tell you what not to sleep on for Georgia ahead of Saturday. But first, these. These are Z-Biotics. Z-Biotics pre-alcohol probiotic drink is the world's first genetically engineered probiotic. It was invented by PhD scientists to tackle rough mornings after drinking. Here's how it works. When you drink, alcohol gets converted into a toxic byproduct in your gut. It's this byproduct, not dehydration, that's to blame for your rough next day. Pre-alcohol produces an enzyme to break down this byproduct. Just remember to make Z-Biotic your first drink of the night. Drink responsibly. You'll feel your best tomorrow. Every time that you are tailgating or we have tailgated, we've been out, that we've traveled from Clemson down to Athens and stayed in some really weird hotels and had some fun. We needed some prebiotic getting us going. Drink pre-alcohol, drink responsibly, enjoy tomorrow. Go to zbiotics.com/lockedoncollege to learn and more and get 15% off your first order when you use Locked On College at checkout. Z-Biotics is backed by 100% money back guarantee. So if you're unsatisfied for any reason, they'll refund your money. No questions asked. Remember to head to zbiotics.com/lockedoncollege and use promo code LockedOnCollege at checkout for 15% off. That's not all, but also want to let you know about FanDuel. FanDuel is fantastic. They're the official sports book of Locked On Bulldogs, Locked On Podcast. Everywhere we love them, you should love them as well. Get in on the action right now at FanDuel. And if you do, the official sports book of NFL, the official partner of NFL, where you can get all these bets that we gave you yesterday on the Locks podcast over on FanDuel. But you make a $5 bet, you win that $5 bet, you're going to get $150 in bonus bets straight to your account. It's that simple. It's that easy. Log in, make every moment more from the seat of where you're at. You get to see every single thing that you need, stats. You get a hunch. You get live play-by-play and statistics where you make the bets. FanDuel.com. Make every moment more. We gave you excited. We gave you nervous. Who said, now don't sleep on this. Don't sleep on this for Georgia football on Saturday, Daniel. Don't sleep on the excitement of reminding yourself. Here's how roster composition goes. Let me tell you a little story. Roster composition goes. You get the most talented guys, the Jimmies and the Joes.
Right. Okay.
And then you combine them with the best X's and O's.
Interesting.
Georgia. And what happens if there are disgruntled people, if there are people and players who don't really like that, they go elsewhere and other people have to step up. If they're not cutting their weight, if they're not sharing their weight, pulling their weight on the program, then Kirby Smart's going to go to them and say, hey, maybe you should seek opportunities elsewhere.
Sure.
When that takes place, there's an attrition that happens at the roster. Snaps, expertise, top end talent gets a little missed on it. I think Georgia has suffered from the Brock Bowers, Ladd McConkey effect that's been taking place, Daniel.
Okay.
And yet we have still become one of the best teams in college football with the drop off of that production because guys are coming behind. But what not to sleep on, don't sleep on seeing the 2s and 3s that have been in these recruiting cycles that you've known the names way back when you saw them get signed. Remind you again just how good you have it as a Georgia Bulldog fan. Don't sleep on you being the blood getting flowing once more of saying, oh yeah. Remember that dude? Remember that dude? And flashing what will become again the pipeline of talent that is at Georgia, has been at Georgia, and this just will stay at Georgia because King Kirby is there. Don't sleep on recruiting cycles coming back to remind you once more.
I don't hate that. I'm going to go to a bit more recent acquisitions, and I'm going to give you the number 3. That's how many freshman running back I think are going to score a touchdown in this game. True freshman running backs with a touchdown in this game. I'm going to go 1, 2, and 3. I think they will all play. I think they will all see significant action in this game. Obviously, Nate Frazier is going to play early and then probably not very much. I expect Cash Jones to be getting quite a bit of rest in this game as he continues to recover, meaning I think we're going to see a lot of Dwight Phillips and of Chauncey Bowens in this game. And I don't hate them. I don't hate all 3 of them getting a touchdown in Athens. I also think you mentioned Nitro Tuggle earlier on the show. I think I think he gets his first touchdown in Athens. I think he has a big game. And London Humphreys is a guy that I feel like
here we go
is beginning to emerge as a different type of receiver. Did you see the catch that he made against Tennessee? Like, we haven't even talked about it, Clint.
I'm viewing it again right here in my head, Daniel.
Carson Beck in one of his most ill-advised throws of the night.
That
was
the
weirdest play I've ever seen. The weirdest play I've ever seen. Jared Wilson basically snapped the ball from his backside because he was falling down. None of the other offensive linemen moved, and Carson Beck just stood up and rifled the ball.
He's like, okay.
Straight at a Tennessee defensive back's head. Yes. And London Humphreys said, I'm going to take this for myself.
I want it more than you do.
I think London Humphreys is beginning to emerge, and he's a guy that in a game like this, I think could get a little bit loose, and so don't sleep on him as well. What do you got to not sleep on in the Bahamas, Clint?
Look, I gave you a little bit of there's Asa, who is incredible. There's Demery, who's incredible. But if y'all don't know Blue, like he a dog, okay, Daniel?
Slow start to the season, but you know it's coming.
I was just See, this is what I mean. Slow start to the season, you know it's coming. Last year had a bunch of hustle plays, was kind of this mascotty guy at times. And I think that's why he's having a slower start to this season. But don't sleep on him having the most threes in this game, because when he gets cooking, when he gets going, he can make it rain, Daniel. And he's hit a bunch last year in big. And I think this is the game. Don't sleep on this being the spot where Blue Cane says, hey, guess what? I'm here. I know everybody else is around, because I think Marquette has a good enough defense, has a good enough team where it's not just going to be we're going to force feed the ball or get what we want. I think we're going to have a couple of ad-lib plays, a couple of balls in a rebounding situation, kick back out, find the open guy, get the ball moving, and that's where Blue Cane comes in for me. So don't sleep on him getting double-digit points, and by the 3 ball being most of where he gets his points from, Daniel.
I think ball handling is going to be the key in this game. Marquette pressures the ball a lot on the defensive side. Really tenacious. Shaka Smart obviously loves to get after it on the defensive end. And so Silas is going to be huge in this game. And the minutes that he's sitting out, I think that's going to go a long way to determine like Georgia's chances in this game. Like, is Savo going to get those minutes? Is LeFew going to run the point? Is Georgia going to have success bringing the ball up the court? I really do think that if Georgia wins this game, it's going to be on the back of Ace and Newell. I think rebounding and second chance opportunities.
Yes.
Don't sleep on another 8 blocks though for the Georgia bigs. Like in this game, like between Surreal and Newell, like these guys combined to just eat up everything at the rim.
Yeah.
Marquette likes to shoot a lot of threes, but they like to drive the ball as well. They like to. Cam Jones, obviously one of the best players in the country, but Marquette likes to shoot the 3, but they also like to drive to the basket. I think there's going to be a lot of opportunities, guys thinking they're going to be able to float it over these freshmen, underestimating the verticality of these 2 guys. And so defense at the rim going to be huge in this game.
There are 2 things in football that will make me stand in attention quite quickly, and that's very tough safety play from a football player. You come down Christopher Smith, Tyke Smith, KJ Bolden, you have my attention. Linebackers that are erasers that make you get punished behind the line of scrimmage gets me jacked. When you talk about rim protectors for Georgia basketball, it just brings a level of excitement, Daniel, that I haven't had in some time. And you didn't say we had rim protector. That'd be nice. If we had a guy that would be really, really, really nice.
Yeah.
We got 2.
And they sometimes play together.
Known coming out of high school. This guy was known to have a better defensive game than offensive game. And the offensive game is coming along quite nice.
It's mighty fine.
It's mighty fine. He is Daniel. I am Clint. This is Locked On Bulldogs, part of Locked On Podcast Network. We're going to be back Saturday doing a live reaction to the games that are going on. We're going to give you the live reaction to UMass.
If you don't think on this overreaction show I'm going to be talking about the Bahamas, then you are a fool. But we will be back Saturday for the overreaction show, and your boys are going to be overreacting.
See y'all then.